Good morning, good afternoon, whatever. I'm gonna drill out the catalytic converter on an Echo CS400. So I'm just gonna show you how I'm doing it, because once you drill those out, everyone says you got so much more power. So first, just get an 8mm socket on a nut driver. You can use a drill or whatever, especially to take these off. When you put them back on, do them hand tight. Nice and snug, but don't be using a drill to put them back on. You'll end up stripping everything. You just got the two bolts. This little piece here comes off. And then the whole thing just kind of slides out. And it's got kind of a weird gasket on the back. Mine's all bubbled up, not sure why. But you can see, all right, just pop that off, I guess. You can see back here, there's the catalytic converter. It looks kind of like, I don't know, a honeycomb or something. That's what we're going to be taking out. We don't want that in there. Sound good? Great. So also, you can remove this piece just with Phillips screwdriver. And you got two screws here. And you can see it's got the screen in there. And if your screen is not fairly clean, like you can't see through it, burn it off. But this is the other part that people say that they like to cut it out. So I've seen some people will go in and they'll just cut this whole piece out here, I believe. I think I've even seen some people take off excess of this piece, like out to there. I don't know if I'll do any. If I do anything at this point, I will just take this piece out. I don't want to go too extreme. I might try it without doing, I'll probably try it without doing that first. All right, so once again, better light here. We're gonna drill, actually we're gonna drill pretty much this whole thing out. Like that. Beautiful little hole saw. I just picked it up on Amazon. It was about $6. I've never tried it. I don't know how good it is, but it had good reviews. So 7/8 diameter is what everybody said works best. So we're gonna go for it. And in doing it this way, drilling that out, that means we don't have to pry up this edge. I've seen some people do that where they heat it up and pry it up and then they have to bend it all back. I'd rather go quicker. So I'm gonna shove this in a vise. All right, let's try this. I need to get it in here a little tighter. See what happens. Whoa. Maybe I do need that other piece. So it comes with a separate, I'll show you here. Comes with this little baggie, and they give you two little, I believe they call them arbors to start it, that goes in the middle, and then a little hex key in order to tighten it. So just got right here. Let's get that nice and loose. This was the one that came with it. It's got a spring on it, and I hadn't seen that before. I own some Harbor Freight hole saws like this, but I'm gonna just try this one, see what happens. Worst case scenario is it breaks and I'm out $6, right? Or it breaks everything. All right, let's try again. Gotta go higher. Whoa. Yeah, you got to get a good starting point, which I am not doing. Oh my gosh. I stopped because I didn't want to. Man, I think I loosened up here a little bit. I better tighten this chuck again. I also don't want to go too far through. So I feel like now that I'm a little bit through it, I'm going to pull off that starting arbor because I don't want to bust out the other side. This is kind of fun. It's always fun doing something a little different where you're changing something. Although it is scary because if I break it, then that's just money. All right, let's go. Let's tighten this again. Gosh. I think I just broke my drill. Maybe I shouldn't have changed it from second gear to first gear. Oh yeah, that busted right through. So there's all that junk now. That was fun. All right, so you can see inside there's some junk, which I will blow out with some compressed air. So this is another spot that people like to cut out. They'll take out this piece and or this piece, just cut it right here. All that stuff is going to go over it anyway, so you won't see it if you're worried about what it's going to look like. So here's the baby catalytic converter. Now, I don't know if this is made of the same stuff that everybody's stealing out of cars, but if so, I mean, it's a tiny piece, but I might see if I can get a couple bucks for it. I'm just going to take a Dremel. Just a normal cheap Dremel with one of those cutters. And I'm going to do that first little section, I think. We'll see what happens. I'll try that. I guess it didn't go too far in there. Let's see. Well, it fell in there. So it turned out all right. I mean, once again, that's going to get covered up. I'm not going for show. You know what? No, that wasn't it. Maybe it fell out when I banged it. I don't hear it. Unless it still never came out. Let's see, now I hear it. There it is. So here's that huge piece I just cut out. All right. I'm sure that piece will make all the difference. We're going to throw this back on here. The cool thing is you even have a little up arrow over here. So put this side up. I got to put the back of this thing on here. Let's see. Kind of put it in to determine, I don't know which side should go up. If it really matters, I think it's that way. Put this on first out here. Because the cool thing is, it's not hard to swap this out again, and if I determine that I really should pop that off, it just takes a couple minutes. fit it back on there. And then don't forget this little piece here. And your 8mm socket for these bolts. I think for kicks, I'm gonna just try and start it as is, see what happens. See if it'll even hold a tune without, I don't know, I don't wanna, now that more air is gonna flow, so that probably makes it too lean. Shoot, maybe I shouldn't. Well, what I'm gonna do, I will at least pull off the little limiter caps. In here, I will pull the top off, get you a better look at that. You can kind of see it in there above the H, a little plastic, like a reddish plastic cap. That's your limiter cap. That from the factory, it only allows you to turn it a few times. So we're gonna get that off of there so that we can adjust it how we want to. So to get the top of this off, looks like we just need, I can't see what that is. I think it's just a Phillips. Let's see. Yeah, Phillips works just fine. So you've got that one right up here, and then one there up in the front. And for those of you that are a little OCD, I get it. It's like, what? 3? We need 4. We need 2 on each side, but you really don't. These off now or what? Maybe I have to take this off. It is nice to have an easy off piece that goes for the, oh yeah, because I think you gotta, no. Push that forward, maybe that's all. Just keeps feeling like something's tight. I didn't do a good enough job releasing some of these. Maybe it is, it's just, I think it's just this spark plug guy. I think you gotta kind of push down on that piece as you're prying off the plastic. I think that makes it easier. I've done this before, I swear. we go. That was so hard. Why? Why was that so hard? Okay. Now we're going to use a 4mm hex key. So we've got one right here. One down here. One right above the handle. Right there. And this time we have 4. We get the 4th one right up here. All right, with those 4 removed, that whole little recoil unit comes out. Don't lose your screws. It's all chock full of nasty stuff. All right, so everyone says just screw in a drywall screw into those openings and you can pull the whole thing out. So let's get some better light and I'll clean that piece off so we can see it. I'm gonna try a 1 1/4 coarse drywall screw because it's what I got. So everything I've ever heard is just that you push it into the holes and screw it in. Start it with your fingers there. And of course, I can never find a Phillips when I need it, right? Here it is. That is not doing much. I feel like that's maybe too big. I don't know, or else I need to hit it with my purse. It just kind of kept going. It wasn't really, I'll try the other side. Well, look at that. That one worked. Okay, so everybody says when you get that out, just to cut off that little nub in there on the side. That's what stops it from turning. And then they say put them back in just so that they don't shake loose. So I think I will play with the Dremel again when I get the other one out too. Well, after 20 minutes of just digging at it, I got it out in pieces. The key was unscrewing the entire, just once it's all loose in there, you can unscrew this guy. And then I used some nice tiny needle nose to get way in there and just yank that out. So now you can see they're both out of there. Just need to get this adjuster back in. She's all back together. Let's start her up, see what happens. got the table oily. No, I think that that's actually doing okay. Hey, if you've been looking to modify your chainsaw, do the little muffler mod and tweak it a little bit, I hope this video helped.